Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have Black Velvet from 1951. All right. It's now a Heaven Hill brand, but it's a brand of whiskey that's been passed around over the years to different companies. It's one of the top selling Canadian whiskeys in the United States. This is the 3-year age base version. There's also an 8-year age reserve, and then there's at least one flavored Black Velvet, but I think there's more than what they're showing. It says, I'm not gonna read all this. Remarkably smooth. I didn't find that to be the case, but that's what they're saying. With hints of caramel, vanilla, coconut, and rye spiciness. Then they show a bunch of drink recipes. For instance, Black Velvet and Cola, a Cool Velvet, Black Velvet Sour, and so on. $9.99 at local stores like Winn-Dixie. $9.99. Mathern's doesn't sell it, but Winn-Dixie has it. $9.99. I don't think Walmart carries it either. Oh, well, around here we get some stuff at some stores, other stuff not at other stores. I mean, you're only talking about 25,000 people, about 27,000 maybe people live here. So it's not going to be a whole lot of stores full of a whole lot of stuff. You understand? Now, if I go to New Orleans, which is over 300,000 people, and then Jefferson Parish next door, which is also over 300,000 people, it's 1 million people in the whole metro area out there. So yeah, I mean, you're going to get a much bigger variety. But there's no point in being in a town like this and stocking shelves full of everything and you can't get rid of it. Okay, I mean, there's no sense to that. It's like beer. They did a hangout last night with Hefeweizen. I could have joined, but that was pretty hectic because they had they were like 8 people wanted to join Bumpy Road Brewery's hangout. And although he did it very orderly, like, everybody got to do their beer and he went through the process and I liked it. But one more person would have just made one more problem or one more challenge, I should say. But I was looking for a Hefeweizen, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't find one. Now with this National Socialism, COVIDiocy, see, they're calling people that don't follow the protocols, the commands from which, like Judge Napolitano said, these are only guidelines. They have no real legal power to do this. Only a legislature can pass a law. A governor can't just issue a dictate and say, they're saying stores shouldn't be doing this and that. But anyway, aside from the dictatorial rule over our lives by the masters, the National Socialism, the masters, but that made it more difficult to get the Hefeweizen because it sold out and they didn't bring any new ones in. He said he hadn't seen the salesman for a while from that company. But we used to get Weihenstephaner over here and the Erdinger, the Dunkel one. But and then that König Ludwig. But I don't think Hefeweizens were ever really popular around here. I guess I could have bought a 6-pack of the Tulane Green Wave beer from a local company. That's a Hefeweizen, but I didn't want to be stuck with 6 of them. I don't even like the style, so I could tolerate drinking one for that hangout where they examine the style, and it's fine, but to drink 6, no, I don't think so. But whatever. It's so comical. I was looking at these reports. They had all these governors, these apparatchiks, what do you call them? These commissars. They were saying Gauleiters, I guess. Our Gauleiter is John Von Edwards. Was it John Bell Edwards? I was saying Von Edwards. But he says, don't even relax. This is going to go on for many years or something, a long time. And I said, these people here, they're exposing their authoritarian. People should have known already, but they're exposing themselves. I don't mean exposing themselves like a person that gets arrested for that, but I mean exposing their mentality, their tyrannical mentality. I need a little bit more James Fox here. So I said, now they're saying May, June, July. You know, you must get prepared. There's not going to be freedom because of this rather mundane virus, which is similar to the flu. But they were saying, give it up, it's gone, the freedom is gone. And I said, I was laughing, and I was, in a way, I said, I wonder how long they're gonna stay around before people replace them, you know, before they get replaced by hook or crook. You say, no, they'll just give it up, stand aside and let people have their freedom back. That could happen, but they may have to take it. And you know, it's like you see people washing garbage on the street. You wash it away, all the filth. But I know some of them are. Now, the one we have in Louisiana, he's a really bad guy. I mean, he's a very mendacious person. I'm not saying that in a personal way. But I warn people, you know. But then I look at some of these other states, like in Michigan, they got a real hardcore Gauleiter, you know, it's like Hans Frank, you know, or something. Or what you call it? Heydrich. All right. Arrogant, and they're so arrogant. Boy, they're arrogant. They're so. It's funny because they're like a heroin addict. You know, when they first take that hit, they're like, their eyes roll back in their head, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man." So they're like so. They have so much lust for power. They aroused by it. It's really scary. It's scary and comical. Scary because of the damage they can do, but comical in thinking about the repercussions towards them as time goes on. But anyway, back to the whiskey. Cheers to the National Socialism and cheers to the empire. Okay, I think I'll be able to tell them apart because I think Black Velvet tastes pretty flat in the nose and the taste. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mean flat like it doesn't have carbonation. They don't have carbonation. I just mean like it's dull, plain, bland. Here you get a little distilled corn whiskey. You say, what do you expect for $9.99? It's only aged 3 years. No, that's exactly what I expect. Of course, it could be a little smoother. They're talking about how smooth it is, smooth like velvet. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not tasting it, but when I first tried it, I liked it. But the more I tasted it and the more I put it in taste challenges, it just failed. Okay, well, this one smells even less than that. It smells even less approachable or less aromafied. What do you call that? You would say flavorful for the taste, but bountiful in the aroma. This smells like some kind of corn husks and some kind of harsh rye. There's like a harshness to it. It's like, now, do they bottle this in New York still, or did they already move the bottling down to Bardstown at Heaven Hill? I don't know. A lot of times when these companies buy out a brand, they have a production agreement, like the production will continue at the other company for a long time. I know when Sazerac bought the Seagram's VO from Diageo, they were saying it was like a 6-year production agreement. And one of them was 10 years, or some of them were 10. So they just continue to produce it because they got a lot of them already in the barrel aging. Well, anyway, I bet you this is the Heaven Hill, the Black Velvet, because that smells a little, kind of scratch my nose. Just the aroma made my nose get scratched. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. Anyway, taste. Okay, this is the James Fox, and I'm going to tell you definitively why it is. James Fox and Sazerac Canadian whiskeys have a distinct character. You get the sweet corn alcohol. So you would imagine, and I would imagine, and I would surmise, guess, estimate that it's at least 85% corn whiskey, whether aged or unaged. Probably a blend of aged corn. They call it high wine, which they have to dilute because it's very high alcohol. And then it's probably about 80% grain alcohol, corn, unaged corn liquor, grain spirits, neutral spirits. Then they got some rye. You could taste the rye, the sweet corn, and a little sherry wine. And I've talked about these flavors in the past, the brandy, the rum, the bourbon, and all that. So there's that admixture. So I think, with no evidence, aside from what I'm tasting and smelling, which to me, is a pretty good amount of evidence, really, just conjecture. But I think it's about 20% the flavorings, malt whiskey, just pure barley malt whiskey. So that's your barley whiskey, your aged corn whiskey, your flavorings, and then they're putting the grain spirits together, and then they're aging them in a used barrel for 3 years. I think I was reading that. I'm pretty sure I was reading that even if it's grain spirits, like they're saying on the Black Velvet, well, that was the tasting notes. That was the construction notes. It was like detailed distillery notes on the old Constellation brands. They had it until they sold it to Heaven Hill. But they were saying how then that's all put together and aged together in a barrel for 3 years. Okay. Used barrel, and then there's Black Velvet. So great. To me, it's not so great. But this one here, maybe they're aged separately, because they were saying that how some companies age them separately, but Black Velvet, they age them together, like gumbo, where you put it in the fridge and it tastes better after 3 days because all the flavors are mixing together. So, but you get that, like John and Nelly call almond extract, that sweet candy corn, honeysuckle. My friend David was talking about honeysuckle. I said, yeah, like nectar. Yeah. He was talking about a different product. You get that. Do you get any of the charred oak, the strong corn bread like you get with bourbon? No. If you're used to bourbon, this is going to taste like some other world. Oh, Black Velvet. It's just, to me, harsh. Like, they talk about how smooth it is. Maybe it's smooth in the mouth or something, but I'm like saying the first hit is like fine grained sandpaper on your face. It's like, it's just got a very distinct kind of rough note. And it's grain alcohol. And now, okay, does it have all the flavoring things like you get with that other one? Nah, it just tastes like regular old whiskey. Corn, a little bit of barrel wood, no char, nothing like that. And that's it, really. So it's just like very straightforward and simple. Why do you think they emphasize cocktails on their website? You know why? Because that's what it's designed for. And they're not talking about, oh yeah, swish it around and oh, the Black Velvet is so, nah. It's straight to a cocktail. That's what it's designed for. But on the other hand, they did talk about vanilla and all of this stuff on the flavor, but it really just tastes like alcohol. Like you said, well, I know an alcoholic beverage, that's what it is. We get it. No, I mean, it tastes like alcohol, like not rubbing alcohol. It's made with wood. But alcohol, just like an alcoholic drink, like alcohol, like you like the taste of alcohol, like that chemical compound. I mean, I don't think that's the greatest taste. It's just so simple. 9.99. Now look, the James Fox was $8.99 for a liter. $8.99 for a liter. I'm getting an extra 25%, 25 extra ounce milliliters, meant to say. And it tastes better. I'm sorry. Sorry, Black Velvet. Sorry, Heaven Hill. It ain't that great. This is way better. And yeah, I know it's got flavorings added. No big deal because that's allowed in Canada, but that's what Canadian whiskey, that's what it is. Maybe it would taste nice in a cup of coffee, says Jimmy Sprats. Well, it might. I would never try that. But maybe in the Irish cream type thing. It just, the James Fox tastes so much better. And I knew that. I said, this thing is going to be a joke. James Fox going to go on a Moida Black Velvet. And it is. It's just whipping its butt. You know, it's like, you might say, you got something against Heaven Hill. You got some kind of like secret hatred towards them. I don't have any hatred towards them. I've tried a lot of their products. Some of them are good, like Evan Williams Black and Green Label. I like those. But a lot of their blended whiskeys, American blended whiskeys, got a strange off flavor, like honeydew melon. You can always, usually you can pick it up. It's like, what's going on here? I mean, I've gotten them wrong a few times, but usually you pick it up. It's just something aberrant about it. And this is the same way. You say, well, you were complaining about Black Velvet when it wasn't even owned by Heaven Hill. That's right. It's like maybe Heaven Hill said, what is some aberrant stuff we can buy from another company to fit our profile? I mean, I'm saying that in a cheeky way, but it seems to fit. It's like, okay, here's something that tastes off. Black Velvet isn't too bad, right? Haha. I never said it was bad. It's not bad. Like, take a sip. Okay, it's not bad. But it's got a little graham cracker taste too, which doesn't sound right. It's just not, to me, good. I mean, there's some honey and all. It's just too much of a harsh alcohol pickup. Sorry. Daniel Newman, who's a member of Alcohol Eggs, who's always posting interesting content. Creatonk says, agreed about Heaven Hill. Their best product's probably Evan Williams. Yeah, and then a lot of people like the Elijah Craig, which I don't have much experience with Elijah Craig, so I can't really comment on that. But I know it's popular, and Old Fitzgerald, and their mellow corn, the pure corn, straight corn whiskey is very interesting and good, and very interesting. All right, but anyway, so I think ranting and raving and making all the oblique comments about the National Socialism COVIDiacy that we're dealing with is good in a way, because it tells you how I feel. People kind of know how I feel about things. And then also it lets the whiskey breathe, so then I can taste it after it's dissipated the aroma a little bit. Yeah, that's so much better. It's just, it's like a rum, almost like they added white rum. I mean, it sounds bizarre, right? And like cream sherry. Oh yeah, it's good. I like James Fox, man. I like it. I really like a lot of Sazerac blended whiskey, Canadian blended whiskey. I like a lot of Sazerac stuff. James Fox is good. Just the Albertsons and the Canadian Crest, those old store brands from Albertsons are good. Golly, the Northern Lights is really tasty. The Canadian Leaf. And there's a sister brand called Canadian Lake, which has like the identical label. I don't know, it could be sold in different areas, but Canadian Leaf, very good. Canadian Hunter's a nice one, of course. And so on and so on. And I would try others. If I see other Sazerac Canadian whiskeys, I'll try them. Are they going to be way different than all the rest? Nah. Now, if I see Caribou, that's going to probably be a lot different and more elaborate and more detailed. But it better be, because it's $38 a bottle starting off. You know, it had better be way better. The Pendleton. Oh, wait, that's not. is that Sazerac, Pendleton? I gotta check. Well, anyway, yeah, I think we should stay home because the illness, but also we shouldn't tolerate. Yeah, the illness is a flim flam thing, though. You know, you say, well, kill 23,000 people and the flu killed 24,000. Yeah, okay. So did you see people freaking out over the flu? No, they were largely indifferent to the flu. And so this year, the flu's killed 24,000 people. Sometimes the CDC say like 68,000 on a bad year. Of course, they inflate those numbers. I've been reading about that. You know, anybody that dies and has the flu, they're going to say they had the flu or they died of it. But mainly they died with it. Or, you know, they had all this comorbidity, you know, like they were sickly and on the death, they had 1 foot in the grave anyway. And like the coronavirus 19, it's the same thing. Even the CDC, if you read their website, saying, you know, 98% of the people going to survive or more. Because remember, it's the percentage of the reported cases. And what did they say on CBS News up to the minute this morning? And on channel WWL CBS affiliate last night. If they say there's 300,000 cases, then it's more like 700,000 because a lot of people are not reporting it. They just get a little sick and they get better. You know, they don't even bother going and get a test because they're probably worried they might get like detained or something. So if they say in 4% of the cases are deaths, it's really 4% of the reported cases. So it's probably less than 1%. See, but that's the fear psychosis that the government and the National Socialist media has inculcated in people's minds, you see. So I said, I thought it was going to take, I said this on a right wing, one of these Facebook groups. I said, I always thought it would take a vanguard of the revolution to bring communism to America. I never dreamed it was going to be just a virus or the threat of a virus, because it's more like that's what they're using. So it was amazing. And now these guys are saying, get used to it. You know, forget sports, forget going to the store. Now, I said, these people are mad. They're out of their minds. They're crazy. You know, you said, well, they're evil. Well, I knew that already. You know what I'm saying? I'm never shocked by people being evil when they're evil. I'm just shocked that they're gall, you know, how far they could reach. But they'll pay one way or another, you know, like the Blondie song, one way or another. Yeah, I think I shouldn't tolerate our government. We shouldn't tolerate our government forcing the issues. People aren't going to tolerate it ultimately. They're not going to live like slaves, no matter what that little shrimpy guy with the glasses says. You know, his mannerisms are bizarre. If you ever watch him, his mannerisms are almost like a maniac. You know, he has like a, well, you know, a psychopath or a sociopath, they carry themselves in a different manner. They don't even, you know what I'm saying? They don't even have the same mannerisms as a regular person. So it's really, and then, you know, Trump is watching that guy and he's probably thinking the same thing. This guy's crazy, you know. But then Trump, he can't do much. You know, he's just sort of like a figurehead. He can scream and holler and talk about, I'm in control, I make the decisions, but he doesn't really, apparently. They talk about England, the Queen is a figurehead with no real power. But I think she probably has a lot more influence than the President of the United States, who really is just a figurehead. But anyway, but you could see him looking at the guy like, that guy's bad. This is a bad guy. You know, he probably has that ability like I do. You can pick up a bad vibe on people, you know. And I picked up a bad vibe on that guy from first 10 seconds. I was like, uh-oh, bad guy. Yeah, James Fox is the clear winner. Good morning, Ron, says Maxwell. Hey, good morning, Maxwell in Russia. Yeah, you'd like James Fox. I think you'd like it. Jimmy Spratt's off topic. Is Carling Black Label still around? It's still in production, but try finding it. You probably have a better shot of getting invited to the White House for a meal. I wouldn't say it's specific to the United States, though. Most countries worldwide are being relatively aggressive in their response to these lockdowns. Yes, I agree. But you got like Great Britain, the United Kingdom, Denmark, Norway, Germany, Italy, Spain, but they're much more socialistic than the United States. Okay, so you have to, in some ways, expect that because they have much more authoritarian governments anyway. So their people are used to like knuckling under, following orders. That's kind of like a European trait. Follow the leader, right? What's the most popular children's game in Germany? Follow the leader, right? So they're much more attuned to like the Führer principle, the leader principle. They do that. And even Canada, which is more of a, Canada is more really a European country that just happens to be in America. You understand? Canada is a European country in America. So Canada is like England West. Let's say that. England West. United Kingdom West. So they are much more deferential to the government. Whatever command, you got it, eh? I'll do it, boss. But America was founded on suspicion and conspiracy theories, so America was founded on that. The revolution revolved largely around the spreading of conspiracy theories that there was a plot to overthrow people's rights by the king and all that, largely made up. But still, that whole mindset of I don't trust the government. But Americans surprisingly have been conditioned over the last 100 years, 150 years to knuckle under. I didn't think it was that widespread. But then you still have that rebellion streak. It's starting to crop up more and more. And I think over the next 3 or 4 weeks, it could really explode. If these guys don't let the pressure off. But they're kind of stupid, and you don't expect them to make the right decisions. But anyway, that being said, James Fox is the absolute clear winner. It's not even something you got to say, well, in this case or that case, price considered, availability, none of that. It's just better. It's just a better whiskey. In my opinion, you might disagree strongly, but I'm going to look at this. If this doesn't say JF, I'm going to feel like a fool up here. Yeah, JF. I knew that from the aroma. I knew it. What's coming up next? Well, obviously, it would only make sense to do what? James Fox versus the Black Velvet Reserve. Black Velvet Reserve, Thursday, the 8-year aged, which only costs about $2 or $3 more. It's aged 8 years. Is it better? Nah, not really. Is it kind of harsh? Yeah. I said, when I first tried it, no, maybe the second time I tried it, I said, it took them 8 years and this is all they got. 8 years and all you got was this. Huh. Amazing. But I bought it. No one made me buy it. I paid $10.99. They had a great discount on it at Dorgnax. Black Velvet. Ouch. So if you like to say ouch after every sip of whiskey, Black Velvet might be one for you. So you have a better chance of getting COVID than Black Label. Probably. Carling Black Label. Yeah, it's so rare. But it's Pabst. William Kepley did a whole video one night, like an hour and a half, screaming and hollering rant about how Pabst was horrible. I don't mean literally screaming and hollering, but the tone of it. But I agreed with I 100% agreed with everything they said. It's a joke. It's a catastrophe. The new owners of Pabst have done nothing positive. Their websites are a train wreck. Their marketing is horrendous. Their distribution channels are laughable. It's terrible. And you know what? I don't care. If you don't care about your products, I don't. It's just tough. So 2 thumbs down for them for being horrible. Interesting hearing your take. Well said, says Creatonks. Thank you. I've been saying that since before all of this shutdown stuff. I say it's a phony thing, man. And then I go to the store and they're walking around with masks and gloves like, oh, I'm so fearful. I'm so fearful. And I'm thinking, if I was the evil leader of the government, I'd be saying, bwah, bwah, every time I saw you do that. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I see you. I planned it out at the lodge meeting last year, you idiot. All right. I'm not saying it, I'm just being comical. Some people are probably really actually literally saying that. All right. The argument is the United States should be more like Europe. Yeah, I had Europeans tell me that many times. Your country's defective. It needs to be much more like Europe. I said, did I ask for your advice? I don't believe I did. Not that I would take your advice if I had, I don't, not only would I not take your advice, I didn't even ask for it. This is unsolicited information of which I have no interest in any way. I had some of these European guys come lecture me. Well, in Europe, we do this, and in Europe, we do that. I said, oh, I'm sorry, didn't you hear? I don't care. My interests in Europe, or my interests in the internal governmental affairs of Europe, are so profoundly my disinterest is so profoundly present that you should, I don't care what Scotland does. What you say, well, Spain, they do. I don't care what Spain does. I like their flag. I like the color. They have a very nice flag. I don't care about Spain's internal, but they seem to be very array. If you talk to Europeans, they seem very put off that America has a different system or whatever. They're like worrying about that. Well, y'all need to do this and y'all need to do that. And I always tell them, I don't need to do anything. Nothing. And, other countries resent that too. Y'all need to do this and y'all need to do that. Like when that government in Washington, D.C. goes around doing that. Y'all need to do this. We don't need to do anything. I had a thing for Mabel, spokesman for that beer. Oh yeah, Mabel, Black. Hey, Mabel, Black Label. I guess it's just nostalgia that I like Black Velvet. I'm so used to it. Good review. No, if you like it on its own merit, it doesn't have to be nostalgia. If you like it, then you like it. Don't ever apologize for liking something. People have different tastes. And my mantra, if I was a Hindu, would be drink what you like, drink what you like, drink what you like, drink what you like. It's like, like viewpoints on government. The Europeans want more socialism and all of that. Makes no difference to me. Let them do what they want. I don't care. I just take issue when they try to tell me what, y'all need to do. I don't get angry. I just say, yeah, okay, well, whatever. I don't care. But I hear them say, y'all have too many guns. I say, well, you ought to come try to take them. But our government will do that for us probably one day. So they're already telling us where we can walk, how close we can stand to people, what restaurants can be open. Don't bait me. I'll say the wrong thing. Obviously, off air, I would be much more decisive in my speech, you could say. But anyway, much less guarded, if you want to use those terms. But anyway, a lot of times I'll like kind of show where it's going, and you can just kind of use your imagination of what I really think, and you'll probably be right. Anyway, so James Fox, clear winner. End of the video. It's been going on long enough. A lot of things have been going on long enough, not just this whiskey hangout. You know what I mean? Two days from now, we'll do the Black Velvet Reserve. Black Velvet Reserve is going to get killed. I'm telling you right now, it's going to get killed. I don't mean literally. He said get killed. He said get killed. I heard him. He said get killed. Yeah, I did. I'm talking about the whiskey. But it's going to be a fiasco. I don't care if it's aged 8 years. I know James Fox is probably 3-year age. It's going to slaughter. James Fox is going to look. Black Velvet Reserve is about to get beat so bad. You want to watch a real beatdown Thursday? Then watch Dawn Busters, because you're going to see Black Velvet get its, and bazam. Anyway, Wild card Wednesday tomorrow night, Wednesday night, meaning you can bring any beer. I think I'll bring Dos Equis. Friday, Fandango Friday with James P. Madonna and whoever else wants to join. I got some rum to taste challenge. Might be interesting, might not be. Stout Sunday. Oh, I don't have any stouts. I got the same old Founders Porter. I might join that. I'm getting tired of looking at stouts, though. I'm going to tell you the truth. You say, you just don't like stouts. No, I like stouts. I said I'm getting tired of looking at them. You know, I went to the Grand Canyon and eventually I left. Why? I got tired of looking at it. It was pretty. It was awesome, beautiful. My grandma said, you know, after a few minutes, you get kind of sick of looking at it. I said, right. So we left, you know. You say, you don't like the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I like it. I got tired of looking at it. So I left. Okay. Get it? Makes sense? Okay. Anyway, so that's it. I like that review you did of PBR coffee. Oh yeah, the hard coffee. That was a nice one. They did a great job on that. It's a novelty item. Okay, I know. I got it. I knew what it was before I tried it. You say no to those that oppose you. Oh, just say no to those that oppose you. I don't say no to them. I just say I don't agree, you know. It's not personal. Nothing personal. It's never personal with me on politics, religion, government. I don't get angry about it. I just don't. I know what I believe. I know I'm right. I do know I'm right. Why? Based on what? Based on outcomes and intentions and best practices. That's what it's based on. And my anti-war viewpoints. Okay, thanks.